To you, everyone. Good to have you again. Always here as dedicated people who are ready for the truth. I want to welcome you to this live broadcast today, Tuesday, the 20th day of February 2024. And this is 4:36 p.m. BIAFRA time. Yeah, thank you for joining. I want to say to you as you join in, please share this broadcast on all your social media platforms. But first of all, like the video, and then you share on all your platforms. Remember, we're always here to make sure that we expose the narrative of the lies, which of course gives us the basis of truth. For you to talk about truth, you must expose lies, and that's the truth. Thank you for joining. My name is, of course, you see it on the screen as usual, and this is Truth Channel Network. It is very, very important that I take us through, you know, some information today that will help us to really reason properly. Because along the line of seeking for freedom, you need to have a fundamental pattern of your knowledge and the concept of your reasoning under the auspices of truth so that you can reason properly and know what to do at every time or a particular time in conveying the narrative of truth in your generation and the generation that is now and the generation to come. And everybody's desire should be seeking to be an instrument of generational change, transformation, and blessing to every other person around us and those who come, you know, after us. And that is why we're here today. I want to critically, um, say this: the current situation that you are experiencing, especially for those who are in Nigeria, globally, anyways, there's a serious challenge because of the critical economic and global economic situation. It's affecting everybody everywhere. People are going through several situations and several stuff. But in Nigeria, it is critical because today alone, we heard the news of the lowest of all, the depreciation of the naira to the dollar today and the cost of living plummeted, the lowest so far for the past 1 year. And it's horrible. And when you look at these things, you begin to wonder how are these things happening. But the truth here is that you cannot stop what is coming. You can't stop what is coming. Fundamentally, anyways, whatever is going to change, would always go through some kind of rigorous times that will pull the energy from people, that will test their resilience, their tenacity, and their effectiveness, their strength, their capacity. And I tell you that before you get into freedom, you must first get into the mess that slavery puts you. And it's the mess that slavery puts you that gives you the understanding to value freedom when it comes. When you find yourself in a particular situation at a particular time and you are able to explore, what happens is when you come out of that situation is that you appreciate the time of what you are getting or the coming out of that situation. The only way you value anything is when you have gotten them before and you lose them. When you lose them, the next time you get them, especially when you struggle to get them, you'll discover that you will value them more if you have come to understand how important they are to you. And it seems I'm looking dark on this stuff, right? The stuff is dark. I need to, you know, and change my position so that I'll be able to. My face is dark here. I don't know, to see if please, if see if you can open this curtains for me. This one a bit, and yeah, I think my face is dark here, and I hope to. Yeah, this one, yeah, yeah. I think it's better now. Okay, you guys can see me now. All right, thank you so much. Thank you. It's okay. It's okay. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's better now. You can see my face. I wanted to actually put on the light, but there's no need. It's just the weather is just changing because it's about to rain, or it may not rain anyways. We've been having this kind of situation for days now. Now, thank you for joining. Please, as I said initially, like this video, share it on all your social media platforms. If you have not subscribed to this channel, subscribe to it so that you can always receive the information of truth, and of course, the people around you also receive it. Now, I was listening to a particular member of the DOS. You know, I always listen to different kinds of people. I want to get information from people and know what is happening. First, of course, I always go to the platform of the criminal in Finland and to get information about what he's saying and the things he's doing, and all of that. People will say, why am I always calling him a criminal in Finland? He's a criminal. And I'll keep saying it, he's a criminal. Let him sue me. I can sue him to be a criminal, but he cannot sue me. I've told him several times that we're going to sue him when the time comes. But anyways, I was listening to one of these DOS members, officers, and he said something critically that I smiled to. He said there are two worlds that we live in. We live in a world. There's a difference between the real world and social media. And he was pointing out some stuff. Remember, the criminal in Finland is always coming on social media to make you feel that there is something about sit at home and everywhere is standstill and everything is happening everywhere. And I told you people last week or 2 days ago, or 3, 4 days ago, 3, 4 days ago, I pointed it out. 2 days ago, also, or 3 days ago, I pointed it out again. I told you that all the narrative of what is happening in Orlo, Ihiala, and all of that, and the narrative of them saying that they have killed over 500 Nigerian military men, it's all a hoax and lies. And I told you that the tankers, I received information, I called, and I told you that the armor tanks are still in Ihiala. In fact, they are still in BIAFRA land right now as I talk to you. And the military men are dealing with their criminals. Their criminals, all they do is move to a point, commit a crime. They go to the place where people don't support them, they commit a crime, and they run away. And why they run away is because they want to get those people in that community into trouble so that the Nigerian military will come there and begin to kill them, begin to carry them, begin to harvest their organs and kill them and all of that. So they go to a community where they know that people don't appreciate them, people don't want them, people don't value them, and they go commit crime. And then they run away to their location in Olu and other places where they hide. And then the military comes to that community and kill the people there. And so they want to use that as a means of killing the people who are in those communities that don't support them. Now, the topic today, as I have laid out here, that you can see, is why many groups are composed. These groups are composed, you know, you know. Oh my! I think my battery is low. Um, Please help me check this battery stuff. Sorry, my battery is low. So please. Why many groups are sponsored to claim they are fighting for the people. Why they are created and making you to feel that they are fighting for you. The reason why these groups are created. It's still not on. Okay. It goes okay, it's on now. Right. Now I'm going to be saying so many things along this line, but I want you to first understand how these things work. Especially if you want to know why you are still in the situation you're in, based nationally now, talking about freedom. If you want to know why you're still in where you are, I'm going to take you through a knowledge that you should have before we begin to talk about those who are the agents of Nigeria. Nigeria itself, of course, you don't need a prophet to tell you. You don't need anybody to tell you. It was created to bring down the indigenous people. It was composed for the purpose of putting people under slavery. Now, let me give you this analysis. For Britain to succeed, remember, I've told you people before that the British and the West are very strategic. Now, let me give you this instance. Have you noticed that today on the media, go to CNN, go to BBC, especially BBC, because I listen more to BBC because I want to know, because they are the major slave masters. We have others at America and all of that are helping them. They are part of it. But Britain is the main slave, the slave master against us. Now, just go to BBC right now, check out the news. Since Friday, when Alexei Navalny was killed or died, you know, they have been picking the news over and over. And what they are trying to do is to try to make you believe that President Putin of Russia, killed him. And they keep talking about it over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I begin to wonder. There is one particular journalist who is an American, Indian American also, that died in the prison in January, in the prison of Ukraine. And this media houses never carried this news over and over, because he was insisting that the wars Zelensky is fighting a war. He should not be part of this. He should not allow the West. He was against the war, or against Zelensky and all of that. He just believed that Zelensky is a toy being used to fight a war. He's a proxy. He was killed, and nobody talked about it this way. He just announced so person is dead and that's all. Why is the West flogging the matter over and over and over and over again? Most of the terrorist groups you have today all over the nations of the world were created or were sponsored by America or other, you know, nations like Germany, Britain, and all of that to fight a particular war. Arab, all these militia groups, which are jihadist groups, were created by them to fight against the people they prescribe as enemies at a particular time. And then when they have empowered these jihadist groups, these groups now become very strong, and now become, begin to believe that they can now fight against America and all of that. Now you know about Saddam Hussein. No, sorry, not Saddam Hussein. Osama bin Laden. He was an American um, proxy fighter. He fought on behalf of America. He was there to fight the battles of America against the proposed enemies of America at that time. In the end, he turned against America. You saw what he did in 9/11 and all of that. So many things going on in this whole thing that you begin to wonder, why do they sponsor these people, and then later they complain, they go after all these people? Which means that the weapon at a particular time they need is to utilize it to subdue you. Whether that weapon will turn against them later or not, it's not their business. The issue is that when that time comes, they feel that they can handle it, because they believe that they can always grow in their weapons delivery, grow in their ability for technology and all of that. So they believe they will always outweigh. They believe that they are wiser and smarter than all these jihadist group they create. ISIS, Al Qaeda, all these groups came out from the America system, or the America proxy war strategy, and both in Africa, in other places where they create all this stuff. So all these people are actually their instruments for a particular cause, based on a particular narrative. Now, Africa today has so many militia groups inside fighting, but most of these militia groups were created. Remember what happened to Gaddafi? Gaddafi was killed using the militia groups that NATO sponsored just to bring down Gaddafi. These are jihadist groups. Now, today, those jihadist groups have splitted. They're having different groups now in Libya. There is a part, the government is controlling Tripoli. Another one is controlling the other side. What is it called now? You know, Libya is now, almost destroyed compared to how it used to be in the days of Gaddafi. Gaddafi was killed because America, NATO sponsored militia groups, which today are jihadist groups coming into the zoo contraption to kill people and all of that. Now, bringing it to what we are talking about right now. Remember, the strategy of the British government and the Americans and all these on the West is two ways. They utilize the people they know that are deadly and that can do the job, their dirty jobs for them. They utilize them in two ways. One, they prepare them for control, they give them power to control. Two, they prepare them for war. They take those ones who are critically into jihad business and they use those ones whom they would use religion as sentiments to kill. They use those ones. Now, when it comes to Nigeria, for instance, they already have the Fulanis in government and in power. The Fulanis now are empowered to create jihadist groups. Some of them coming from Mali, Libya, and all those places, coming all into the zoo, coming as foot soldiers for the Fulani. The Americans know their source. The West know their source. They know what these people are doing. They know everything about them, but yet they pretend. Remember the day an American was captured by these same militia groups? You saw how the Americans came into the zoo, into Sambisa or that area, to free their man and kill the whole terrorists around them. So they know what to do. Like what one journalist said one time. He said that the West can handle the issues of these terrorists in Nigeria and in West Africa and in Africa, but it is not a priority to them because their interest is not threatened. It only helps to facilitate their interest. Every jihadist group you see in Africa helps to facilitate the interest of the West. You know why? As long as there is commotion and fighting and all these troubles and all these wranglings, it encourages looting and stealing. And as long as they have prioritized their own stealing mechanism, put the pipes, gotten the oil wells, gotten all this stuff and the lines, stealing the oil from the pipe connected to Europe and all of that. And of course, gotten the way they take the lithium and the uranium and all those stuff, and they have already gotten access to all of this stuff. The troubles and the turbulence and the confusion and the in-house fighting helps them to steal more because this time around those militia groups too are permitted to steal and sell to them, and they also loot from those places, and they make more money from the West by buying weapons from the West. So they sponsor their criminality, their jihadist programs, and all of that, using the resources they steal from those places, knowing that the West steal from those places. And because the West steal, the West will permit them also to steal. Because the only way the West can continue to steal is to permit them also to steal so that they don't pose a danger or problems to the stealing of the West. That is how they control using jihadist groups to control Africa, to control. Let me limit it to Nigeria, to control Nigeria. Now remember, I gave you guys. I've already told you, and of course some of you know that the Nigerian narrative, the uniqueness of Nigerian narrative today, is based on what the West wants. Some of you think it is just coincidental. Maybe the president comes, Tinubu has come, so things are bad and things have gone. No, it's not coincidental. It is actually planned. These things are planned, and they are planned. Now, let me tell you something. You don't know? Don't you know that poverty or hunger is a weapon by the West? It helps them enslave Africa better because when the people are poor, they use less of their senses. When people are poor, when you don't have something to eat, for instance, you use less of your senses. You use more of your emotion. That is when you get angry. That is when you react. That is when you want to destroy things. The reason why today in Africa you find communal clashes, inward killings and kidnaps and ritual killings and all of that is because they have used the weapon of hunger against the people. The people turn against themselves because the weapon of hunger helps you turn against yourself instead of turning against the colonial masters. So they make the people poor. They make sure that Africa does not develop. They make sure that your leaders does not make your nation better, in spite of the fact that you have the resources. And as long as you have the resources and they make you not enjoy those resources, you will be angry with your brother. Somebody tells you are mad on the streets, you want to fight him. You get very angry. You look for you are desperate, and because you are desperate, your emotion takes over. You want to eat. You do anything to eat. You kill somebody to eat. You steal from somebody to eat. You look for you want to kill your brother. You want to use your mother for rituals. You want to do things. That is working with your emotion. You're not working with your senses. You know why? Because the senses would always think about the repercussion of every action. But when the emotion takes over the control of your mind, it doesn't reason the consequences. In fact, the emotion can make you lose a bigger blessing because the emotion does not have the faculty of reasoning. The emotion is not created to reason, it is created to feel. It is by the emotion that you feel, that you can touch, that you can smile, that you can laugh, that you can frown, that you can, touch your skin and touch, feel. You can see, you can sight. Everything, all of this stuff are resident in the emotional level. The intellectual level is different. The intellectual uses these emotional dispositions, the sight, the smell, the touch, and all of that stuff, uses them positively because the intellectual reason along the line of how these things are utilized. For instance, your eyes are meant to see, right? But your senses will tell you when you hear a gunshot somewhere and your eyes want to see who is shooting. Your sense will tell you, don't go, the bullets might hit you. And you decide to sit back, not because you don't want to see, but because you can get into danger. So your sense helps you regulate how you use your emotion. But when you find yourself in a critical situation, just like what the colonial masters have done, they put you in a situation where you are vulnerable, you are desperate, you don't seem to have a path to what will happen in the future. Now, your emotion takes control of your reasoning. So you do things without thinking. That is the position they have put us in Africa. And they know that when you are in that situation, what you will do is that you will be blaming your brother. You'll be blaming that person who has come to be the president. You'll be blaming the other one who voted for that one. You'll be thinking of how you're going to deal with this one. You, as in the political party, you think that this political party is bad. You fight within yourselves. That is strategy. That is colonial strategy. It's called neocolonialism. It's part of neocolonialism because they strangulate you socially, economically, and otherwise. That is the strategy. Now, the second point, the second strategy here is that two, as I told you, one, controlling you by the use of the jihad program, which runs on, you know what jihad is? That means deceit, manipulate you. Takia. Takia means deceive, to lie against, to use lies to manipulate you and deceive you. And they do that through the people who control you, the leaders that you vote in. They do that through the businessmen who control your land. They make sure that few people are rich amongst you. And then those few people will be the ones who would control your government. And then those few people will contract some of these people in the grassroots and make them a bit rich. And then those rich ones also will be the ones to buy the weapons, they give them guns and all of that, to recruit the ones who are poor on the streets and give them stipends to fight their battle against the poor people in the streets. So majority of the people are poor. Few people are brought to a level to have the weapons and to have the resources to make sure they checkmate the people who are poor so that they don't fight against the government. Now the government sits where they are and enjoy the riches. The poor feels helpless because if they want to attempt anything, the police is there, the army is there, the military, they are given guns. They are given the go ahead to steal resources from you when they collect bribes from you. They capture you, they arrest you today. You have not committed any crime, but before you bail yourself, you pay. They give them ability to steal from you anyhow, so that they will continue to do the biddings of the rich. And so what they do is when they go on the streets, they capture you. They say you are a criminal, or when you bring a case to them, they tell you pay this amount. You go to their offices, you pay this amount. They allow them to steal so that they'll keep getting monies for themselves, so that they'll keep keeping you in bondage. Then you are vulnerable and you are hopeless because police cannot fight for you. Even when the government is bad and all of that, the police cannot fight for you. The army cannot fight for you. The paramilitary organizations cannot fight for you. The other units, any other paramilitary units cannot fight for you because they are getting their shares from stealing from you and doing wrong things and getting the stipends from the government. So all these things, they feel that their own needs are met. They will not fight the government on your behalf because they want the status quo to continue so that you will continue to be down there. All you do is cry. Some of you will sleep on the street, some of you will die on the street, some of you will go into prostitution, some of you will go into different things, and some of you will die rich, some of you will die poor, some of you will live under the bridge, some of you will live in batch houses, some of you will live in different places. That is the strategy, weaponizing poverty, weaponizing hunger, because the only way they can make you not to feel hopeless and not fight them is to continue to make you think of what you will eat tomorrow. You keep thinking, oh, what will I eat tomorrow now? Tomorrow comes, oh, what will I eat again tomorrow? Tomorrow comes, what will I eat tomorrow? Before you know it, you are old and you die off. You will not think of, oh, how do I liberate myself? Oh, how do we make our nation better? Oh, how do we get this government is evil. We have to get a right government in power. You will not think that way because you are thinking of that is what they want to achieve. They want you to continue to be emotional because in the realm of the emotion, you keep thinking of frivolities rather than thinking of reasonable facts that are long that have an extended lifespan. That is what happens. Let's look at the takia we're talking about here. Remember, I told you takia about takia. And of course, most of the time, I remember 2 years ago, I talked about takia over and over. I preached about takia and I gave very good analysis about takia. If you can go to the broadcast of 2 years ago, you'll find the issue of takia there. When I gave vivid and very extensive narrative about takia, of which I gave several examples. Today, we have several people who are capitalizing on the issue of the struggle of the people, the poverty of the people. Today, of course, you can tell what is happening today in Nigeria and how the colonial masters and their proxies, that means the Nigerian government and other people, using them as a means of terrorizing you, putting you more in hunger. The current government came in February, just 1 year now. They came in. The inflation has gone beyond 120% per year. So, and inflation right now is about 300 and something percent in the contraption called Nigeria. Now, in Africa, Nigeria is number two economically. South Africa is number one also. Nigeria is number two. The resources of Nigeria can take care of the 200 and something million people living in that place very well and have extras. But what do you have? You have people who have private wells. They are Fulanese. They are the people who serve the colonial masters. They are the ones who control the resources on your behalf. Not on your behalf, against your will for the colonial masters. Now remember, in 1841, when the British came into the contraption in the name of preaching, evangelism, religion, when they came in, they began the issue of slavery and they began to control the narrative, control the people. And all they did was that they were laying the foundation for corruption. Now, around 1870, 1871, 72, 73, 74, and all of that, they went into agreement. Then it was oil, it was crude oil, that was the basic, and ivory and other things also that were the base, the major. When they now stopped the issue of slavery, I think they stopped this issue of slavery in 1879 also. They decided to go into, you know, crop farming and exports and all of that, crude vegetable oil, then palm oil. Now, when they went into agreement with of the you know some of the rulers, and they made them sign deals that they never understood. Now, that was the foundation of corruption that was inbuilt in the fabrics. Remember, going to 1914, when the company was first of all UAC, of course, United Africa Company, and all of that, and then it was changed and until it became Royal Niger Company, and then until Nigeria now, the British government now bought the company from George Gordy, who was the owner of that business then, the Royal Niger Company. He sold Nigeria That was when it was now named Nigeria. He sold the company, which of course became named as Nigeria. Remember, Nigeria was a company. It was not a nation. It was called the Royal Nigerian Company that controls the resources that were stolen from the regions. And they brought all of them together, the Southern and Northern Protectorate together in 1914 for ease of administration, not to have a nation. And then they bought the company then from this Goldie, George Goldie. They bought it for $865,000 also in pounds. You can imagine buying a nation, a whole people for 865,000 or 856,000 pounds. When they bought this, of course, that Goldie was already stealing the resources of the people. If you remember talking about the whole of Biafra territory, anyways, then there was nothing like Bayelsa and all of that. What happened there? How they killed some kings, how they invaded some places and leveled them. What happened in the Bini Kingdom? We will talk about these things in future. The Bini Kingdom and all of Wanobaisi, what happened to him, and all of that. All these were entrenching corruption. Now, what happened is this: they make you take steps and make mistakes, and then they capitalize on the mistakes to invade your land and kill you. Look at what they did to over Nobaisi of the Benin Kingdom. See what they did to the King Koko. Lots of people like that. Now, what they do is this: they plot the graph, they plot the strategy, and they know you are going to fall this way, and you make that mistake, and then they attack you with that alibi. Now, what is happening today? Hunger now becomes, because now the world has left those stone age where, or those times when, not stone age anyways, those times when it was less developed, when they can easily invade your land and nothing happens because of the global, you know mandate under United Nations and all of that. The issue of human rights and all of this stuff, and liberty of nations and territorial integrity and all this narrative, all this nonsense they talk about. What is territorial integrity? What is the integrity about the territory? Anyways, let's just talk about the territory itself. Maybe the integrity talks about the demarcation and all of that. Now, because of all of this stuff, human right, fundamental human rights, rule of law, and all of this stuff, maybe because of that, they now try to behave civil. Today, Britain will not invade Africa, or Belgium will not invade Africa, or the French will not invade Africa, but they invade Africa technically, systematically through neo-colonialism, and that is what the Muslims call takia. That means to manipulate, to deceive, give you an impression, a false impression. Now, look at what is happening today. Of course, you know what has happened in Mali, you know what has happened in Burkina Faso, you know what has happened in Niger Republic, you know what is happening in Guinea and all those places, things that are happening. These people have decided to take their future in their hands. Niger Republic and Burkina Faso and Mali decide now to form a confederation. They have now said, France, we don't need your colonial control over us again. And they have the military there have defeated the French government. They have told them to leave their land. And because the French cannot impose, and they try to set the French government up, set them up, those ones didn't fall for it. Because if they are falling for it, they will invade those nations in using the alibi that they attacked their men. They set them up in different ways, made some threats, told them they're not going to leave and all of that, all of that. But the Nigerian Republic government and Burkina Faso and all of that, they remained resolute. They didn't react the way they wanted them to react. So they didn't have the justification to invade those nations. Today they say they want to form a confederation. They have left Africa. They left. I'm sorry, West African ECOWAS. They have left. I'm sorry, African Union. Sorry, yes, I think it's African Union. They left. Is it? Oh, yes. Is it African Union or ECOWAS? ECOWAS, right? Or African Union? I can't remember. And they have decided to form their own confederation. It would be challenging, but it would be worth it. When you want to begin a thing, understand the challenge will come. When you want freedom, you must face the challenge. When you want anything good in life, you must be ready for the challenge. That is when you prove your toughness. Look at the sanction that ECOWAS, the sanctions, the threats, and all of that. Niger Republic stood their ground. Burkina Faso stood their ground. Mali stood their ground. Today, ECOWAS is now trying to beg them. It will be challenging, but these nations, if they face their destinies properly, the challenge today will be marvelous. Look at what is happening in Democratic Republic of Congo. Because of the resources in that place, the kind of thing the other time, you remember from the time of the 18th some 18th, I'll give you the narrative. I'll talk about that especially on a different program. When Congo was taken like a somebody's personal business, a Belgium leader was controlling Congo as if it is his personal. They even made they have the guts to say that he founded Congo. He founded a nation of people who are believing. Have you forgotten when they said that what's the name of that person? They said he founded River Niger. River Niger that has been existing, that God created. Human beings were living there before they came. They said he founded River Niger because he's a man coming from Europe. So he founded River Niger. So because that's the first time he saw River Niger, now he is the founder of River Niger. I think we are back now. The network has restored. All right. All right. Now God created the River Niger, created the seas, created everything. One idiot comes from Europe and comes to the land because they believe the people are primitive. They now come and tell you that they founded River Niger. River Niger that was there before they were born, before their grandfathers were, before they were even created. And everybody is learning it in school. They tell everybody in school who founded River Niger. What's the name of that man? I can't even remember the man. That idiot they said he founded River Niger. They have the guts to come to Africa and tell us that they are the ones who founded River Niger. Who can remind me that person's name? I've forgotten the person's name, please. Those days in school, we were learning it. In primary school, I was taught. They will ask us question in exam. Who founded River Niger? Who? Who? Who founded River Niger? We will now write. I'm trying to remember the name is on my lips, but I can't. Is it that nobody here can remember the name of that man? Um, oh my, the name is on my lips. And we just thought that it was just as children growing up, what they teach you. That is what Western education has done to us. Destroyed our brains. They want you to learn they want you to learn in school. They put us in Africa in a situation where everything we learn must be what they have designed. Mungo Park. Yes, Mungo Park. I remember the name now. Yeah, Mungo Park. Say it in Mungo Park. Who discovered River Niger? We will shout, I, ma. Excuse me, ma. I have the answer. Who discovered River Niger? Yes, ma. It's me. I have the answer. You. Who discovered River Niger? Mungo Park discovered River Niger. Clap for him. Pa, 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 pa. We're just idiots. How can you found what God has created? God puts there. One white man, because he's from Europe, comes and tells you that he's the one who founded River Niger. Whereas when he came there, people were there. They never found it. They never saw River Niger until the man came there and saw the river. Then that was when their eyes opened. They now saw the river. Mad people everywhere. That is the situation that they have put us in Africa. That is the situation we find ourselves. That is the takia we are talking about. Now, when they do these things, they entrench the corruption you find in Africa today. How did it begin? It was the Europeans that brought it in. The first election that was held, for instance, in Nigeria, how did it begin? First, the Europeans first held a census. They made sure that they gave much numbers, more. They counted. counting the census, they made sure that the North had more numbers, even if the South, the population of the South triples the population of the North. They made sure they inflated the numbers of the North so that they would give the control of power to the Northerners, the Fulanis, knowing that the Fulanis are criminals. They are not indigenous to that territory called Nigeria. And knowing that if they give power to the Fulanis, who have come to steal also, who took over the Hausa kingdom. And so, because that land does not belong to them, they are also thieves. Knowing that they too, the colonial masters, are thieves, they need a thief to guard that territory for them so that they will keep stealing, because those thieves also want to steal their own. So if you steal, you are there, you are watching this place for me. They give the power to the Fulanis and say, okay, watch this territory for us. We know you're a thief, but watch it for us. But we would allow you to be stealing, but watch it for us so that we can be stealing the major stealing that we're stealing. So when you put a thief over a plantation that is not theirs, they would not fight you because they steal and you allow them to steal. So they are comfortable. Everybody's comfortable. The Europeans take their own. The the thieves take their own. So they made sure that they gave more numbers to the Northerners so that during election, they would rig the election and tell you that because the Northerners have more population, more people voted from that place. So the person who comes from that place is the one who won the election. That is why you find out that it is always it's either a Fulani man or one of their proxies, just to make things look like it's balanced, is put there to control the Nigerian territory on their behalf. So when we are telling you that you're not a Nigerian, that you have to divide that land, now you see that's very important. But to keep you to continually become a Nigerian and to keep you always afraid of your freedom, they need to erect people or set up people who would work in that same takia tactics in the realm of control, that means governmental control or organizational control. Aside the foot soldiers, the Fulanis who come to your land, the terrorists who come to your land, kill your people, cut off their neck. I showed you the other one, the one that happened in January. Over 200 and something people killed in Plateau State. Over 200 and something people killed. I showed you the video of how I think I've not showed you, but maybe I need to show you this video so that you can understand the level of evil that is there. A woman carrying a child at the back. They kicked her, that she fell with the child on her back, the child's head crushed on the ground. They killed the daughter or the lady with her, and they killed the woman. Butchered over 200 and something people in one attack. And this is just one. For 1 year, they have butchered over 3,000 plus people. And that is what the British have given them the go ahead to do, so that they can control your territory, control your land, so that you will not be a threat to what they steal anymore. Because once they are put over there, they know Britain has the power, and Britain knows that they can never be more powerful than them. So Britain gives them the power to control your land. Britain knows that you would always resist them. Remember when the colonial masters were coming in? We resisted them. We fought them, but the Fulanis never fought them. The Hausas didn't fight them. So they are comfortable allowing them control you because they know that with them controlling you, they can control every resources. That's why they can never allow you rule. Now, I'll look for this video now and I'm going to play it so that you can see it. Because when we talk about this whole narrative of death and killing, you know, you have to understand where the problem is coming from. And you must understand that this Takia tactics, I'm taking you somewhere. I'm still going somewhere. I've not even released the information of today because there's some information I need you to get, some facts I need you to get. Very, very important that you need to get. Now, this killing happened, in January, and I always, I always dread watching it. I don't like looking at it because it makes me very, 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 very uncomfortable. It makes me very, very uncomfortable. I don't know if I knew that I was going to play it, I would have searched for it before now. but I never knew that I was going to play it. Anyways, I don't know. I don't know why I'm not saying it. But what I'm trying to say is that Takia is in two ways: the administrative tactics, and then the bloody. Okay, I think I can find it. I can find it here. Please, pardon me, please. I'm trying to find that video. I'm trying to find that video. It's in January, so let me go to January here. I want to play that video so you can see what I'm talking about. You need to see what is happening. You need to see what is happening. What's going on here? Why am I not saying this? You need to see this. You need to see this. You need to see this particular video. It's very, very important. January. It's in January. Okay. Now I'm gonna play this video. I don't know how I don't know how we're gonna watch this because it's makes it there are some I don't want to show you because those ones are very bloody. But let me just show you this one of this woman and what they did to this woman. This is what happened in Plateau State. Over 200 people killed that day. I would have shown you the other sort of video of the deaths and the bloody killings, the cutting of necks and all of that. But let me just show you this one. I think this is the one I just look at this. Now you see how they are slicing that lady. See what they did to that woman. These are the kind of videos you watch. You want to. What did they do? Just because they are from that place and they are indigenous. That's just because they want to take their land. This is because you have allowed Nigeria to continue. Look at them. Look at what they did to the woman. Look at what they did to this girl. They butchered her. Now, these are some of the things that you don't want to watch. And if I want to show you some other gruesome ones, you will just tell yourself, no, 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 please don't show this. These are evil. Now I want to take you to some stuff now. Because people who don't value their own brains and mind and understand what they need to do for themselves to be free, they would always become victims of criminals. They will always be victims. Now let me show you something. I want to go to some stuff. You have someone who is claiming to be fighting for freedom. I told you that somebody went on to Biafra land and he was telling you that nothing like sit at home is happening. In fact, during the sit at home, nothing happens. Everybody is moving everywhere. Things are just going on very well. But on social media, all you keep hearing is that you are getting freedom and all of that. And all this while, the criminal in Finland have been telling you about how he's killing the Nigerian military and the things that he's doing and showing you so many things that he wants you to believe. But I'm going to show you some stuff right now. I'm going to show you some stuff. Now you see, there is this particular stuff posted in Punch newspaper in 2022 when you remember that period when we were talking about no election in Biafra land and all of that. And then when we thought that this guy is he has opened different platforms now because he knows that people like Punch don't report him. The mainstream media don't report him. So he's looking for platforms that will report him so that it will look like it is actually, you know, Nigerian media platforms that are reporting him, talking about him. And the other day I told you that he opened one Nigeria's fair or something. and making you like thinking that making you think that you know making you think what's happening. Sorry, I'm just I'm in the office, so I'm in the office. That's why I'm talking. So I'm talking to my. So now he, I now came. I broadcasted and I told you that he cannot tell his people to go and follow that platform because he knows that that platform belongs to him. So what he does is he created a platform and others too that he has created. So he wants it to look like so many Nigerian media platforms are actually talking about him, created by other people. But now he discovered that even as much as he's posting some stuff there and copying and posting on his platform, people are not still going to follow those platforms. And after I talked about that platform, you know what he did? He decided now to come all out and he told the people to go and follow that platform. And funny enough, some of the people who have sense too are there. But of course, even if they have sense, they still don't have sense enough because they still cannot understand that if this kind of person is doing this kind of thing, then the person is actually a criminal. The person is actually a criminal. Because someone who comes to tell you that I'm looking for that stuff, why is it that all the things I'm looking for now I have to search for them? I want to show you. Okay, let me go to his platform on Twitter so that you can see. Because I think I need to. Oh, it's already almost 1 hour. Okay, I'm going to stop this here, and then I'll continue the part two of this tomorrow. I'm going to continue the part two of this tomorrow because of the time. It's already almost an hour, so that I don't get this break. Because if this dimension I'm going now is going to be very long, so tomorrow I'm going to continue this narrative and give you guys more understanding of what I'm talking about. But I want you to understand that there are many groups that are there that give you an impression that you are moving forward. 99.9 of them, 99.9% of them are actually not real. And I'm going to explain to you how they are not. I'm going to give you today. I just try to make some introductions and give you some little history and give you some basic teachings, of course. But I'm going to go in also to expose some stuff and at the same time expand the scope of the teachings. Also, I'm going to do some short videos that will help you get some basic facts very quickly in 5 minutes or in less than 6 minutes, so that you, or less than 5 minutes, so that you will be able to understand some things basically and some historical facts, so that by the time I take them up in the broadcast, you would have gotten those things summed up in a particular short video, and then it can be better for us to expand on these things. But I want you to understand this: your intellectual capacity must be sound and healthy for you to get into the next level. I if in case Mr. Chibok is here, I actually, or you read it later, I actually searched for what you said you sent to me. I didn't see anything. I searched the number plus 212. Of course, the number is there. So let me post the number again so that you'll be able to send it right. Maybe you didn't send it to the right number. So this is the number plus 212 7078898 194. So you can send it right to this number so I can get it. I couldn't get it. I didn't find the video. So Mr. Chibok, that's the number. Send it to me on this number, and then I can get it. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate you guys. Like this video, share on all your social media platforms. Let other people hear the truth. Subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed, and see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day, and God bless you real good.